I'm Princess, and I would like to welcome all you humans to the 4th annual Whiskers and Wine. Before we get started, I would like you to know that I have lots of friends at the Western Arizona Humane Society who need forever homes. But I will let another human talk to you about that. For now, I would like to introduce you to a few of my friends who have found their forever humans. Please sit back and enjoy meeting my friends, Suzy, Jack, and Blue Boy.
Hi, I'm Toby Robinson. This is my wife, Maureen. Back in 2016, I lost my beloved Rottweiler, and I was devastated. And then shortly after that, I was trying to decide whether I wanted another puppy, but I opened up the newspaper, and there was this picture of Suzy. Just her one eye and her nose showing. And she was 10 years old, the exact age of my Rottweiler. So we came down here to the Humane Society. We looked at her. We didn't connect right away, but we finally did. And we took her home, and she has been a gift from God. She has lifted us up, helped us get over our loss. And she's just a perfect pet. She is our friend, whether she's either with my wife or with me all the time, watching us, taking care of us. It just couldn't be any better. And we thank Lisa so much for using that newspaper to bring us together. And we'll be together, all of us, till the end. Thank you. I want to say to everyone that there are a lot of animals that are discarded, especially older animals, and they bring so much into your life. They can lift you up. All they want is for you to love them like they love you. And it's a gift from God. I can't explain the feeling I felt to have her in my life. Thank you.
This is Jack, and I volunteer here at the shelter, and I came in about a year ago, and Lisa mentioned that she had a dog that was hurt pretty bad, and she didn't have anybody to take him to the vet, and I offered, and I took him to the vet's office. He had been stuck in a rose bush in front of a church, and a lady had stopped, Darlene Gomez. She had stopped, and she got a pocket knife and sawed him loose from the rose bush, and his leg was hurt. She brought him into the shelter, I believe, and Lisa didn't know what, she was in tears. She didn't know what to do with him, and she knew he was old. He looked just terrible. And I volunteered to take him to the vet, and I said, let me know what happens on the outcome with him. And she called me in the afternoon and said, I need somebody to foster him, and I need somebody to pick him up. And I said, I'll foster, and I will pick him up. So my husband and I went and picked him up and took him home, and we decided he fit in with our dogs. We had 2 other dogs at the time, and he fit in just perfect. They loved him, we loved him. He was just meant for our family. He's the leader of the pack. We have one other dog that we adopted from here, and he thinks that they're the best of buddies. He'll bark at our back door and let the other dogs in, and the other dogs step aside for him if they have to. They watch him. I can't say enough about adopting older dogs because he's 11 or 12 years old, and we have so much fun with him. He's got cataracts. Right now he has congestive heart failure, and he came up with kidney problems, but we'll do everything we can to help him and live as good a life as he deserves. I believe that people, they need to put aside their feelings for the shelter. I know there's a lot of people that are negative and they don't want to come down here. And I think it's the best thing you can do. You don't know the feeling you get when you do adopt an older dog or any dog. You save a dog's life. It just gives you such a good feeling, and it gives the dogs hope. I can't recommend it enough.
My name's Tiana Hasty. This is my husband, Daniel. We were on the Facebook watching basically everything that goes on in this town with the animals, and we're on every single site. And we saw Fairlane, which is his name formally. He was on there several times, and then he would be adopted, and then he'd be brought back, then he'd be adopted, and then he'd be brought back. And they said he doesn't like cats, and he doesn't come when he's called. All these things that were deterring people from adopting him, but he looked just like our dog. So I said, babe, if he isn't adopted by this weekend, we're going to get him, and we're going to just give him a shot. And we came up here, and he acted like he knew us every day of his life. He never was afraid. He never had any kind of issues. He followed us out, got right in the car, went home. The day after we adopted him, we took off on a trip because our daughter was giving birth in Kansas. And we let him out of the van on all of our stops on the side of the highway. And he would run off and go pee, and we started calling him Blue Boy because I was thinking, what would somebody have named him when he was a puppy? And he came. So he was off on the side of the road on adventures, and we'd call Blue, and he'd come running, and he'd get right back in the van, and we'd take off. And we traveled to Texas, and we traveled to Kansas, and we went to Colorado, and he swam in the rivers, and he has just been an excellent dog. We found out the first time that we tried to ask him to sit, that he could sit, and he could stay, and he could shake with both hands, he could high five, lay down, roll over. He does everything that you ask him. He also waits at the door for us to leave before we invite him out. He's just, honestly, we have to push him by his butt to get him to come in at night because we live on a little mini ranch, and he does not want to come in the house. He likes to run around the neighborhood and tell everybody who's boss. So I go out every time it's time to feed him and push him in by his buns to get him to come in for dinner. And my husband built us a 13-foot bed for our dogs because we have a couple of them. And he climbs right up when it's bedtime and sleeps with us. He never moves. He doesn't have to pee. He's literally just become the greatest thing ever. And if we have to go to the grocery store or Ace Hardware or anything, he's the first one riding shotgun. He's the first one in, and I'm sitting in the back seat. He's shotgun. He's daddy's ride or die. He's literally been the greatest thing that we've had, and I hope that he can influence other people to come up here and give somebody else a chance. Well, there's so many great people up here. You know, I've been posting for him on what he's been doing in his life, and everybody seems to have a story about what they experienced with him. You know, some people came up and took him for a walk. Some people came up and fed him treats, and they kept him, you know, connected. And I'm telling you, the ladies up here, they are really, really in love with their job, and they're in love with the animals, and they're keeping these animals, you know, loving. They're not just in prison up here suffering. I would come up here and I would I would listen to what they say, first of all. If they tell you that he's good with cats or he's good with kids, or I would believe them because I know that they actually know these animals.
It is so wonderful to see my friends go to great and loving homes. But I have something else very special to share with you tonight. They say dog is man's best friend, right? What a tough crowd. Anyway, humans are cats' best friends. Bet you didn't know that, did you? We like to keep you around so when we need food or water, you can get it for us. But most importantly, we like to have you there when we want to cuddle or need a scratching post. So with that said, let me introduce you to Emily. She is a foster human who takes care of the baby kittens and shows them how much humans also love cats.
Hi, my name is Emily, and some might call me the crazy cat lady. We've got a lot of kittens, and I'm a foster for the Western Arizona Humane Society. I started fostering kittens back in, I believe it was about April or May of this year, and at that time I was just a volunteer and I was walking dogs, and Lisa came up to me and said, "Hey, you wouldn't by any chance want to foster some bottle-fed kittens?" And I'm like, well, I could give it a shot. I've done a puppy or two. So anyway, we got this little guy right here, although he's not so little anymore, but him and his litter mates were, they just barely had their eyes open, and we've nursed them and got them back to health, and the cycle just keeps repeating again and again over over kitten season. So I guess for me, I go in because I work there, and I go clean the cat room, and I feel really sad when I see them in the cage. Probably I would say most of them that come in are separated from their mother, and they're lost and they're scared. There might be one, there might be two. And basically, I feel bad for them. So I bring them home, and there's a lot of good things that happen at home. I have 4 kids and a few dogs and a husband, and they get very socialized. And my mom, she helps a lot, with nursing and helping them if they're sick. So they're very well-rounded, and probably the best thing that happens is when they leave my house, they have encountered every obstacle to getting their home, their forever home. I mean, they've met big kids, they've met little kids, they've met dogs, and if they come in and they're maybe this size, and they have to stay in the cage for months until they can be adopted, because they have to make weight to go get spayed or neutered. And so we give them love, they get socialized, and they don't have to sit in the cage, and then that makes room in the cat room for more animals to come in. So it's really a joy to me. They give a lot of cuddles. As you can see, I just sat down here a few minutes ago, and one after the other has piled themselves upon me. This one up here is another one of my bottle feds. She was quite the character, so we ended up keeping her too. But I think it makes a huge difference in the lives of the cats. I mean, really, it makes them lovable and for people to want them. And I guess the reason I'm on here is I want to say that if you or anyone that spread the word. Fostering is a joy. It's a joy to you and to the kittens. Look how happy we are right here. And so your support, and not only fostering support, but financial donations and everything means the world. You know, we have to get medicine because sometimes they come in with sickness. Sometimes they come in and, you know, they need a flea bath, or they, you know, various things, and food and litter, and it all costs a lot. And we are grateful for you helping us.
I hope you enjoyed tonight's video presentation, and please consider donating or volunteering at the Western Arizona Humane Society. Lisa and her staff do a wonderful job taking care of my fur friends. You humans are such wonderful creatures. Oh, one last thing. If you drink tonight, please let another human drive you home, or your cat. Trust me, KPD does not know what to do when they approach a cat driving a car. I know from experience. Humans, will you please welcome your MC for the evening, Human Charles Black.